I believe plants are dangerous, they're a complete waste of time, and they're slowly killing many people. Hear me out, this isn't clickbait. My name is Carrie, I'm doing a documentary called Healing Humanity, and I have been eating a proper human diet now for over 500 days. It's changed my life forever, down over 100 pounds since my heaviest, overcame depression, anxiety, arthritis, reversed my congestive heart failure, talked about this on many of my other videos. Reasons I will never eat plants again is they are completely overhyped. This is humanity, okay? Wrapped up in a big ball. It's so good for you. I gotta have my salad. It's so good for you. That is the general knowledge that's been ingrained into our brains, and it's so far from the truth. Besides the natural toxins that plants have as defense mechanisms, as Dr. Chaffee talks about, these plants are saturated with pesticides. If it ends in side, herbicide, suicide, pesticide, it means death. People take these plants and they sprinkle some water over them under their sink and they think they're just fine. They're not. That liquid death has permeated into the interior of the vegetable. And you look around in the world right now and leaky gut, it's a new phenomenon. These pesticides break the blood-brain barrier. They cause brain fog. They cause depression. They cause all sorts of issues. Glyphosate is everywhere now. It's scorching the soil of the earth. That's another reason I will not eat plants, is because of pesticides, herbicides, and glyphosate. Another reason I'll give you is this. There is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. In other words, this is a fact. You can Google this, you can look it up, and I'm walking proof of it, as are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of other thousands of people doing keto or carnivore diets. We get everything we need from meat in the proper proportions. A fatty piece of meat gives me everything I need to thrive, and I could live on that for the rest of my life, and I have lived on that for the last 500 days. Had a little bit of chicken, fish here and there, but mostly it's just been beef for me. Fatty meat. I'm absolutely thriving. You cannot say the same thing for vegetables. If I were to try to do that with vegetables, I would die. You have to supplement or else you will die. The other reason I will never eat plants again. Let's talk about fruit for a second. Fruit is a complete joke. One of the comments I get from vegetarian, vegan people all the time is, you gotta have your fruit, you gotta, it's just so important, it's so good to you. Fruit is an absolute joke that we've been brainwashed to believe is some miracle health food. It has been perverted by man. That's the correct use of the word, by the way. It has been perverted by man. It is frankenfruit. It is a big ball of sugar masquerading as health food. It is candy that has been Frankenstein food. It used to be an okay thing maybe for some people to eat with some fiber. It would help with some of the fructose in there. An apple today is nothing like what an original apple looked like. You couldn't even recognize an apple today compared to what one looked like before. You bite into an apple right now, if you have diabetes, good luck, you're done for. Your blood sugar is going to spike. It's a big ball of sugar. And people act like, oh, it's just so healthy for you, it's so good for you. On that front, let's talk about that. I don't want to eat fruit because it's going to spike my sugar. I don't want to eat fruit because I have realized that, like most of you watching this, I've yo-yo dieted my entire life. And the reason for that is very simple. I'm an addict. I'm addicted to sugar. Sugar is a highly addictive drug that we have normalized, and it never should have been normalized. I cannot moderate an addiction. Nobody can moderate an addiction. So people try, they lose some weight, they count some calories, they do some fasting, and then they bring sugar back. Or they have a big juicy apple, which is a big ball of sugar, and 2 hours later they're starving again, and their body's like, please, more and more. What's it asking for more of? The drug. Just like if you were consuming cocaine, it would be asking for more cocaine because you're addicted to it. I have admitted that I'm addicted to it, and I'm going to abstain from it. Now, if it was some miracle food that, oh my God, my body needs this nutrient so much, then I would have to think about it a little bit more. But as I described earlier, I don't need any of those things. I literally, without a doubt, get all of the nutrients I need from meat. It's the most nutritionally dense food in the world. It provides humans with everything they need to thrive. The other reason that I do not want to eat fruit anymore is What is going on now? They have this new... Quick interruption. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in learning more about our documentary, Healing Humanity, the Power of a Proper Human Diet, or supporting it, please visit donate.healinghumanity.movie. Our goal is to reach millions of people that are hopeless right now and sharing the examples of real people over the course of 1 year that are undertaking a proper human diet to overcome obesity, type 2 diabetes, depression, anxiety, fertility issues. We couldn't do it without you. We thank you so much. We are also selling these shirts, Healing Humanity, the Power of a Proper Human Diet. Every penny we get from those goes towards the documentary. And last, we have memberships. If you click the little join button, it's best to do it on desktop. Under any one of my YouTube videos, you can join and become a member. We have hundreds of members right now. We do members only videos. We do members only behind the scenes. You can email me as a member and I'll answer you. And every penny from that goes to support the documentary. And the last thing is we have these Redmond's portable salt shakers. These things are awesome. You can get the best salt. You can take it with you. We sell these on the website along with our water bottles and cutting boards, and every penny from all of those goes 100% towards supporting the documentary. You can also sign up for our newsletter, which is completely free. All of these links are in the description below. Thank you so much for your support. Now back to today's video. A peel coating. It's like a wax coating they put around it so that the fruit doesn't oxidize and it can sit on the shelf even months and months longer than it was intended to. It's insanity. It's food insanity, and then you got the pesticides again. I watched a video where they took some strawberries and they juiced them, and then they analyzed the juice, and it was full of pesticides, enough pesticides, they said, that they could have treated the entire strawberry patch again with the pesticides they got from that one serving of strawberries. These fruits are saturated with glyphosate and pesticides, and everyone's just like, it's fine, don't worry about it. The other reason, I got many. You want me to keep going? I'll keep going. The other reason I will never eat plants again, fruits or vegetables, is they are deficient in nutrients. And that is a fact. So let's say I go eat an orange right now. I go eat an orange. The orange that I'm eating today has 1/7 the nutrients that it would have had 50 years ago. Why is that? Because the soils of the earth are scorched with glyphosate and chemicals, and we're not doing regenerative farming. Back in the day, you'd have mom and pop farmer, and they'd have a cow, and they'd have some horses, and they'd have some farm animals, and they would poop on the grass. And then the cows would eat the grass, and then the cows would poop. And it was a regenerative cycle, and that poop is known as fertilizer. It has a very important role. We don't use natural fertilizer anymore because we're monocropping. We're just scorching the earth with chemicals and fertilizers to try to get anything to grow anymore. It grows and it's completely devoid of nutrients. You're not going to get nutrients out of a carrot you grow in the ground if the ground is dust. It's a dust bowl. It's a desert. And that's what's happening to the soils of the earth right now. And if you don't believe me, go do your own research on it. An orange that you eat today has 1/7 the nutrients. Fruit, vegetables, all of it, it's being grown in soil. The soil is barely tillable anymore. There's barely any nutrients in this soil anymore. And what are they doing to that then? Well, just put more chemicals on it, more chemical concoctions, and it's fine. It's the dosage that matters. And meanwhile, you look around in the world, leaky gut, depression, anxiety is through the roof. It's all connected to our gut. These pesticides, they're killing our guts. Serotonin is made in the gut. Those are some reasons I will never eat fruits and vegetables again. The other reason, vegetables have oxalates. They cause all sorts of issues with people. Oxalate poisoning. Phytoestrogens. A lot of these vegetables have phytoestrogens. They mess with our hormones. Prior to starting carnivore, I had man boobs. Isn't that disgusting? Men walking around with boobs. I was 100 pounds heavier and I had man boobs. I believe a large part of that was due to my hormones being disrupted from the foods I was eating. Another reason I'll never eat plants again, and the reason for the title of this video, I believe plants are dangerous, is because they cause inflammation. And hear me out here. If you look in the grocery store, there's 60,000 products on the shelf. I eat about 5, maybe 10 of those. Beef, butter, bacon, eggs. Actually, right now I'm only eating beef. The remainder of the 59,995 products on those shelves are, drumroll please, plant-based. They are derived from plants. If it's a bag of Doritos with 100 ingredients on it that you can't pronounce, those ingredients are all plants. If it's in a box, if it's in a container, if it's in a bag, it comes from a plant. Where do seed oils come from, which are highly inflammatory? They come from vegetables, which are plants. Where does sugar come from? Drum roll, please. Plants. What is sugar in? 59,950 products in a grocery store? Almost every one of them has sugar in it in one form or the other. And now sugar has about 100 different names for it. It's in everything. It's everywhere. It's highly inflammatory. We're eating these plants, we're eating these plant-derived products, we're eating processed products that come from plants, and they're causing inflammation. And when you have inflammation, your arteries and your vessels become damaged. The cholesterol goes there to repair it. They blame the cholesterol, but the problem is the inflammation. I've done several videos on this. Check out Dr. Philip Ovadia, a heart surgeon who's performed thousands of heart surgeries. He said the root cause of heart disease is not cholesterol. The root cause of heart disease is insulin resistance and inflammation. And if we look at the root cause of insulin resistance and inflammation, it's the foods we're eating. And the majority of foods humanity's eating are plant-based. And they're filled with sugar and they're processed. They're slowly killing us. And if you want a good example or analogy or another way to think about this, think of cigarettes. Would anyone argue if I said to you right now that cigarettes are deadly? I told you at the beginning of this video, I believe plants are deadly. I also believe smoking is deadly. Is that so far-fetched for you to believe? Why is smoking deadly? Smoking is deadly because, well, one part of it is inflammation. It causes inflammation, which leads to heart disease and cancer. In the same way that eating highly inflammatory processed foods derived from plants leads to systemic inflammation, which leads to heart disease and cancer, and Alzheimer's and dementia and type 2 diabetes and about 1,000 other things. The root cause for all of these issues, inflammation. You can get inflammation from smoking. I could get inflammation from breathing in some toxic poisons, and I could get inflammation from eating foods that are highly inflammatory, and that's what the majority of humanity is doing, and those are derived from plants. That's why I believe plants are dangerous. You can smoke a cigarette right now, you're not going to drop dead. It's not going to instantly kill you, but everyone would agree it's slowly killing you. It's aging you quicker. It's going to probably lead to cancer, probably lead to heart disease, and a much earlier death. They have all sorts of statistics on these. Actuaries do things like that where they say, okay, you're going to smoke, it's going to knock 20 years off your life. How is that not deadly? It's a slow death, but it's ending your life much earlier than it should have. In the same way, plants in the standard American diet and processed foods derived from plants are highly inflammatory, and they're causing us a slow death, an early death, and therefore they are deadly. Now, those are the reasons I will never eat plants again, but you do you. And there's people out there that get mad at me and they say, well, what if I grow my broccoli in clean soil with regenerative soil and I got a cow and animals on there that poop on it? You do you. I'm not telling you what to do. What I am advocating for is returning to what is natural. And who I am speaking to right now is the majority of humanity, probably 99% of you, that don't grow your own clean, natural vegetables. You're getting them from the grocery store, and they're saturated with pesticides, herbicides, glyphosate. And I'm going to get the comments right now, oh, I buy organic. Well, organic doesn't mean pesticide-free. Go do a little Google search on that. Organic produce has pesticides. Almost all of it has pesticides on it. The pesticides are just a little bit different than the non-organic produce. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. Please tell a friend. Please share this if you think it will help others. Have a great day. Peace.